Shalom Israel. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakdash. There was the apostles and those great millstone for teaching us this truth, peace, and blessings to hope like Israel and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father in Hebrew. Ba'ashem means the name. Yahushai is the name of the begotten Son. Back on lesson, and today you're going to go to spiritual power and the standard that the Lord is going to lift against our enemy, and the power the Lord is going to bestow upon his elect men in these last days. I've been seeing these past few lessons I've made, and as well as multiple other brothers, going to the type of technology that the devil has, the robots that he is creating, and all these different things that he has in store that he's not really showing you, and what he's going to use coming to these last days. You know, because the scriptures going to Jeremiah 37, Revelation 12 and 12, going to the great wrath that he's going to come down with, and how he's going to come for the men of the Lord. You know, and Yahweh Shemashai is going to defend and protect his elect in his last days, you know, by the way of spiritual power, by the way of the heavenly angels, as well as many different outcomes, because nothing's impossible for Yahweh Shemashai. But let's get these quick videos I got this quick video just going to the robots. This is a recent one going to Elon Musk, because he has been wanting to create this one particular robot for a while now, which pretty much has it already, you know, but they're getting a little taste, a little trial run of what they got. So play this real quick and we get in another video for an example of, you know, spiritual power, you know, the type of power the Lord can give his men. So step right into it. Lord, be edifying. I don't want to make this a super gigantic long lesson, so let's dive right into it.
Just announced something massive. Today at the Tesla AI Day event, he unveiled the Optimus humanoid robot to the public for the first time. Tesla claims that this robot will be available for under $20,000 and that they want to make thousands, maybe even millions of these bots. To me, that sounds a little bit creepy, but what do you think? Elon Musk,
as well as you've seen in multiple military videos of these robots having weapons attached to them, able to carry immense amount of weight, you know, and all these different things that they basically have in store, man. They show you in these movies, you know, for example, iRobot, Terminator, you know, these type of things that they are creating, man. It's not even mentioning all these different things that they have used. They're creating super soldiers, you know. If you haven't watched that lesson I went into, you know, I definitely do recommend going into that, because I basically went into these jetpacks that they have, you know, and these super soldiers that they're creating, ultimately in order to go against the men of the Lord in his last days. You know, so let's jump to another video just to get the example of spiritual power. And this is, you know, the Black Adam trailer. So I'm going to skip a little bit ahead.
Powers are not a gift, but a curse. Born out of rage. So I'm out to them.
You know, none of these weapons, none of these robots, nothing that the devil has will work against the elect men once they receive that power. You know, once that standard is lifted, the Lord is going to show you true power in that day, man. You know, because these devils are so prideful, thinking that they're able to stand a chance against Yahweh Shemashai, you know, that they're able to even, you know, once again, compete against the Lord, man. You know, but the Lord is going to show you true power in that day, and you will not be able to stand a chance, you know. And that's why you also see in these movies dealing with, you know, superpowers. You'll see these devils always trying to create robots in order to, you know, combat and go against, you know, the people with powers, or even create super soldiers. These are the type of things that they are doing and have done already. You know, call us crazy, mock us, make fun of us, say what you want, but this is what's coming, and, you know, things that they have done already. Play a little bit more.
This loose cannon needs to be locked down before innocent people start getting hurt.
He's been asleep for 5,000 years.
You find us a cell that can hold him, we'll take care of the rest.
Who's on the team?
Black Adam.
We're here to negotiate your peaceful surrender.
Heard about at least 3 killings this afternoon.
I'm not peaceful. Nor do I surrender. Here we go. I kneel before no one.
You didn't come here to seek justice. You came to exact revenge.
I never said I was a hero.
Giving you respect, I expect the same thing.
You believe you are not worthy, but fate does not make mistakes. You can be the destroyer of this world. Or you can be its savior.
But you see the main point. These devils will stand no chance, no matter what technology they have, no matter how many robots that you create. These Iron Man-like suits of armor will not prevail against the men of the Lord, man. But let's dive into the scriptures. Got the main videos I wanted to get Jeremiah 30:7 to go into the times that are ahead and that we are coming into. It says, "At last for that day is great, so that none is like it." So showing you we're heading some times that have never been seen before in history, as well as mentioning Matthew 24 and the 21st verse to go into times like no other, showing you how great this judgment is going to be, but also how great these miracles that the Lord is going to perform. Also, the greater the judgment, the greater the miracles. So the last for that day is great, so none is like it. It is even the times of Jacob's trouble, the time of our trouble specifically, for 2/3 of our people, but those that are in this truth will be tried and will be tested also. It said, but he shall be saved out of it. And that's the main point right there. But he shall be saved out of it. How much is going to protect and defend his men in his last days? You better believe it. Power is coming, man. And what's in here? You're going to have people that will hear these things, hear us say these things, that spiritual power is coming, that superpowers are real. And people are going to mock and scoff, make fun of us, and say all these different things. But it's coming, man. Revelation 12:12. Yahushua had spiritual power, man. Walking on water, turning water into wine, manipulating the elements, man. And that's what's coming to the elect men of the nation of Israel, man. Now let's get Revelation 12:12 to go into the great wrath that the devil is about to come down with, because they will come for us, man. As you've been seeing, they've been keeping track of our videos, these transcripts, and all these different algorithm changes that they have made, ultimately targeting the prophets. These devils know. And as well, there's this certain thing going on where they basically have certain stickers, certain colors representing, basically who's with the system, and who's not. They'll put it next to your mailbox. Let's actually get this real quick, just in a little example. Let's see if I can find a better image. I think this is good right here. We look into this. It says, I don't want to say that for females marking mailboxes with colored dots to indicate the disposition of residents in the NWO. But just a little example, like I was mentioning, just to prove it. But let's jump back to Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that do in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil which is Esau Edom, the so-called many days, come down to you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. These devils know they're running out of time, that their time is short. That's why you see them trying to implement and put their plans into action, creating all these different robots and all these different countermeasures in order to go against Yahweh Shemel Shai, but they will not prevail. That's why you see them also creating a space force in order to go against the chariots, the angels in those vehicles. But they're not going to prevail. Come at the Revelation 12:7-8. They'll go into that war in heaven, but you only go into the 8th verse, and prevail not. So showing you, these devils will not be able to compete, And you have certain videos coming out of the chariots just, moving at just insane speed, that these jets and things that these devil has will not be able to even have a chance against, man. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that do in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. For the devil is coming to you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So Isaiah 59:19, which is one of the main points of this lesson. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh Shemashai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come on like a flood. So as we read in Revelations 12:12, how they come down with that great wrath. And I see right here how they come down like a flood. And you see many examples in these different TV shows, basically dealing with superpowers in the shows. For example, Invincible. If you haven't seen that, I definitely do recommend. Dealing with Omni-Man, where you had people in invisible suits come and try to attack him and take him out. And I believe another show called Titans, dealing with Superboy. You had military troops surround his house, come kick down his door, and try to basically capture him, And once again, dealing with these, superhero particular shows or movies, they always have, the military troops around their house coming for them, as well as, always trying to create, once again, a countermeasure in order to go against them, But reading from the top one more time. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shall lift up a standard against them. Those who stand against these devils, man, and power will be bestowed upon his men. God-like power, man. The things that you see in these TV shows, cartoons, and in movies, it's going to be, manifested into reality, And that's, where else do you think they get the inspiration from to create those types of movies, man? Get the ideas from, For example, Superman, his name, Kal-El, in the Hebrew, I think it goes into, all power, I believe. I mean, it's clear. Jeremiah 16:16. But it says, Behold, I will send for many fishers, said Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And who are those fishers? The prophets, the men of the Lord. And that bait is, the Bible, his word. Behold, I will send for many fishers, said Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and they shall fish them, the elect, and they shall fish them, and afterward I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. So those fishers are going to be soon turned into hunters, man. Because you're going to have these devils try to flee in deep underground, which you see already. These deep underground military bases that they have, these, DUMBs for short, in order to escape their judgment, to flee the things that are happening. And there's also another article that goes into how they've been training, troops deep underground. Oh, why else do you think they're training troops underground, man? And as well as, dang, what was the certain word I was looking for? Dang, I lost my point I was trying to make. But, going back to what I was mentioning, how they have been, going back to the super soldiers and all that, But let's read from top one more time. See, behold, if so many fishers, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and they shall fish them, and after I will send for many hunters, and shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. And you'll see in the CW show of Superman, to where you have basically Superman and all these different, I'm trying to remember. Cause basically I kind of made a little edit of going into it, but basically Superman, hunting people down in the black suit. I was trying to recall, so probably make a little edit going to that right there. But just to continue on, Isaiah 2:19. Don't want to steal more of my points when I can't really remember it. But and they shall go into the holes of the rocks, into the caves of the earth. So that's adding on to the point as we read in Jeremiah 16:16. One more time, they shall go into the holes of the rocks, into the caves of the earth. For fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and for the glory of his majesty, when he arises, it shall shake terribly the earth. So once again, you have these devils try to flee deep underground, try to hide these caves, these different mountains. But the Lord is going to send the hunters after them, man, the elect. And you have these devils try to, flee into their space, their satellites, You have the chariots, and they try to flee into the sea. The Lord's going to send Leviathan after them, as it's going to also. I think Book of Amos mentions it. Now let's get to the main point of this lesson, going to the spiritual power and the standard the Lord's going to lift. Which I kind of, basically wanted to make it a part 2, because I made I think last week, going to the technology that he has also. So I was going to make a part 2, going to the spiritual part of it also. So I guess that'll be this lesson. Isaiah 40:31. So, but they that wait upon Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Going back to that trailer that we just saw, that one little clip just reminded me of that. Isaiah 40:31. What does mounting up with wings mean? Preparing to take flight. Be able to fly, super speed. These are the types of powers that the Lord's going to bestow upon his men. To be able to control, to be able to manipulate the elements. That's the type of power that is coming, man. Yahweh, Ratzizah, we're of that number, Lord willing, we are those men. Read from time. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles, preparing to take flight. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. This type of power that is coming, and you better believe it, man. Sure, continue to mock and scoff, call us crazy, say all these different things about us that you want, but hey, this is coming and you will see it, man. Isaiah 41 and 15, as scriptures also go into, for all the unfaithful shall die in unfaithfulness. You're an unbeliever, man. You say you believe in the Most High, but you really don't. You say you have faith, but you don't. Isaiah 41 and 15. To more onto that point, Behold, I'll make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaffs. Who are those new sharp threshing instruments having teeth? The elect, man. Those instruments of war that Yahweh Shai will use. Luke 10 and 19. To go more into it. To behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. These devils will not stand a chance. These Iron Man-like suits of armor that you are creating and have will not be able to work or go against the men of the Lord. Real one time. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Your RPGs, your assault rifles, all the different things that you have will not work against them in the Lord. Yahweh is going to defend and to protect them in these coming times, man, especially when they will come for us, man. Yahweh, what's going to wear up that number? Isaiah 54 and 17 to expand more on that point. Because you'll see once again multiple examples in these TV shows, cartoons, even in anime, and these different movies of guns not working on the people with with superpowers. For example, Superman. Have you seen the old one where he has this one guy shooting a minigun at him? All the bullets were deflecting off of his chest. Even when that guy got up close to him, pulled out his pistol, tried to shoot in his eye, bounced right off. And you see many other examples as I just mentioned. Have you seen that one movie, I think it's called Project Power on Netflix with Jamie Foxx? That's a good example right there. They all surrounded him, but he had one of the most, powerful, superpowers, in the movie, and he just completely evaporated everyone else around him, man. The adversaries, man. The enemy. Because Isaiah 54 and 17 says, no weapon that's formed against thee shall prosper. No weapon will work against them, man. No weapon that's formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh Shai, and the righteousness of me, saith the Lord. No weapons, no robots, none of these things that you have will work against the men of the Lord once again. It's like if I could sound like a broken record, but constantly got to push that point across, man. But that just goes to show how prideful once again these devils are. I think that they have a chance, even a smidget, against the Yahweh Shai, man. When the Lord's the one that gave them their blessing in the first place, man. Psalms 110 and 3. It says, like, people shall be willing the day of thy power, and the booties of homies from the womb in the morning. Thou hast to do of thy youth. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. Power is coming, man, and you better believe it. You're seeing all these plagues, these pestilence, the destruction that Yahweh is bringing upon this place. And, for example, going back into the, in ancient Egypt, who was protected and surrounded by those plagues, those pestilence the Lord sent upon the Egyptians. The Israelites, man, they were protected and defended, man. So the Lord's going to do the same thing today, man, in modern day Egypt. Protecting and defending his elect, man. Especially when these devils come for us, and his power will be bestowed upon his men. And once again, Yahweh were of that number. But these are the last two scriptures I got. Or last scripture I got, actually. Zechariah 12 and 8. In that day shall Yahweh Shai defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. As I was mentioning. And he that is feeble among them, read that from time to time. In that day shall Yahweh Shai defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And you're going to have tons of people shocked. When the men of the Lord are protected in these times, man, especially during this famine. In the midst of all these plagues and pestilence being untouched. Not saying, the elect are not going to go through anything, because Scripture's going to tell, and the Israel shall scarcely be saved, but they're going to be protected and defended in those times, man. Well taken care of and have abundance, man, as Scripture's going to in 2nd Ezra. But in that day shall the Lord, Yahweh Shai, defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. You know, and you look into certain scriptures, you know, the accounts of David, you know, leaping over that high wall, you know, slaying, you know, tons of armies, man, tens of thousands of soldiers. You know, he was a mighty man. And the house of David, which is the elect, shall be as the Most High, as the angel of Yahweh Shemashah before them. Hey, that's the spirit, man. 144 top left. Call Halamla Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakadash. Hey, Yahweh Ratzah, we're over that number, man. Hey, the Lord willing. You know? But that's the spirit once again, man. But Lord, you're edified. You know, pretty much the main point. Kind of a, you know, a part 2, going to that. One of the latest lessons I made, going to basically the blessing that the devil has, going to a sword, and all this different technology that he has, and ultimately will be used against the Mandalorians' last days, and also to try to go against Yahweh Shemashai, especially against the chariots we see with the Space Force. But one thing, as we've read in multiple scriptures, how these devils will stand no chance in that day. The Lord's going to show you true power in that day, man. You know? So, hey, you better believe it. Spiritual power is coming. And, hey, I believe through faith, you know, that, hey, it's coming. And very, very soon, it will, man. You know, we hope and pray that, you know, we're of that number to receive it. So, we're just going to learn and edify. I don't want to, you know, drag this out. Lord had the main points and tie together the best of my ability. And I do want to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh Shemashai by Hashem Kakadash, the abundance of the apostles and elders, great Muslim for teaching us his truth, peace, and blessings. To hope for like the Israel and Shalom. See you next one, Lord willing.